for Finn and Gethin from the Game of Thrones!
Hey everyone! Hello! Hey!
Everybody gets their own couch, or you can scoop it together. I'm not sharing. I like to be comfortable.
Hi everyone, how's it going?
No. I tested them before. They can do better. Guys, how you doing? I just know them. They're great.
Yeah. You guys?
So happy to have you here, guys. So nice to have you. And I know it's not your first time in Germany, not your first convention. Definitely not.
How many have you done?
Oh, so many. I've been doing Comic Cons for about probably 13 years now.
13.
13 years. Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
So a lot of fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What is your favorite memory? Do you have like anything that particular stands out? It's like, oh yeah, that one event that was crazy.
Yeah. You know, there's a I used to come to a Comic Con in Germany called Rincon. Anyone know of Rincon?
Rincon?
Oh man, come on. Rincon was amazing. They don't do it anymore, but it was in Bonn in Germany, and it was this hotel where we'd take it over for like a weekend. And we just had the greatest time there. They would have parties in the evening.
Nice.
Everyone would stay in the same hotel, and it was just such a great time. Lots of Haribo, lots of drinking, lots of having fun.
The hotel cons are really cool. It's something special.
Yeah.
Because for that weekend you create some kind of a sense of community,
Yes.
kind of belonging, and you kind of let in everybody to your world, but also you kind of learn about all your fans as well.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
It was great. I always think about Rincon very fondly.
Alright, good. We need to, think about the hotel con.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember one where it wasn't, the Rincon was great because we were there together. I enjoyed that one a lot. That was one of the early ones. But I had one where I was really sick. So I flew to Texas to do one, and I was ill on the flight, and I was really unwell. And I get there, and I said to the team, I was like, I'm going to do the show, I'm just going to go straight to bed, make sure I'm okay. They're like, yeah, cool. So I went to my hotel room, and all the room service up, shivering. It's like, about half an hour later, it's just boom, Gethin. Jesus, excuse my language. Gethin, it's Jason. It's Jason Momoa.
Oh my
On the
god.
door. Come drink with me, buddy.
You cannot say no.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I really. So I said no to Jason Momoa. Yeah, I said no, I can't do it, which I regret really. But I'm sure you had a great time. It was good fun.
One of the very few people that said no to Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it takes discipline.
Wow, well done. And cons are such a unique way to meet your fans, because otherwise, you do your job and you don't see the reaction of fans, or you don't see the impact that you're giving it or having. Pipeline. So you cannot see the impact that you have on their lives. So that must be really spectacular. Is there any fan story that comes to mind that you would like to share, or any cool tattoos of your face on somebody's chest?
Not yet. I always get asked this question, and you know what? Most of the time, everyone that I meet at these conventions are just really nice, genuine people. People have this idea that people that come to Comic Cons over the top, crazy, and blah 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 blah. But actually, I've met so many, and over the years as well. I've been doing this for 13 years now, and there are a couple of people that keep coming to the Comic Cons that I've formed a relationship with for 10 years, and it's just really nice. You know what else is something amazing is when I first started doing Comic Cons, I had to work a bar job in order to pay my rent. Even though I was on Game of Thrones, I was 3 seasons in, I still wasn't making enough money to just pay my rent. And so I was working a bar job, and it wasn't until I started doing these Comic Cons and the fans that come to support the artists, I was able to then not do the bar job, which gave me more time to actually go to LA, do more auditions, and actually make this career. So really, the symbiosis of the support that the fans give the actors has meant so much to me over the years, and I think it's a really beautiful thing because you help us artists continue to do what we love, and hopefully we can give that back to you when you come to meet us.
Woo!
Great. Really well said, man.
Thank you so much. That also means a lot to us, you know, because we all do that to also give back for your art, for your artistry, for your hard work. Because acting is not easy. Because we us, we look at the screen, it's like, everybody could do it, just show up and say your lines. No, like when more that I talk to different actors and artists, this is so much preparation. This is so much work, and you need to have so much kind of sensitivity to go into that craft. How would you prepare? How did you guys prepare for Game of Thrones or for the roles, for the scenes? Because you guys, there's such a beautiful sweetness between your characters as well.
Well, we did a nice sort of memory actually. Is with Game of Thrones is the first sort of big show I'd been on. I'm pretty sure you've been on as well, right? And it was kind of scary, but I really wanted to do the job well. And the little bit that I knew about acting, which was very little, was that your relationship with your colleagues, like kind of any other job, is really important. So I don't know, did I reach out to you on Facebook? You know, we found each other somehow before working together, and met and actually hung out because
We went to that pub, didn't we?
yeah, to watch a World Cup match. Watch the football match together. And then actually had the opportunity to just talk through what we're about to do. Because actually in television, especially, sometimes that won't happen. You won't meet who you're going to be working with on potentially a very intimate scene until you're about to do it, which is not the ideal. It wasn't like that with Game of Thrones. We did have time to rehearse and prepare, but so just making it human a bit, like what Finn was saying about being at conventions and just realising how genuine people are is a great life experience. I think in the work, the more you can make it that genuine connections with each other, and sometimes the job makes that difficult. Not on purpose, it's just you literally don't meet each other. So, and as an actor, you kind of have to click into quite intimate relationships quite quickly, and you become better practiced at that. But that was fun. I remember.
And we can see that genuinity on the screen as well, that relationship between you guys as well. And do you think that your experience in Game of Thrones influenced the roles that you're playing now, or the future gigs, do you think that those characters influence them?
I don't think so. Not for me at least. I think I like to choose lots of different roles that kind of push me in different areas and avenues. So I don't think that the role that I played on Game of Thrones typecasts me in any way. If anything, I actually probably get typecast as like the young, rich boy. You know, like I've played a lot of roles where I'm kind of like from an affluent family, which is kind of like the only kind of thread of similarity through my characters, I guess. Which is interesting because it's not true.
Great
My parents
actor.
were working class, so I'm definitely not a rich kid. But yeah, I guess that's the.
But not even like pigeonholing or like getting the same role, but do you think that there is some kind of, I don't know how to put word, but some kind of passion or similarity between those roles? Or you just kind of,
Oh, yes.
or you just like wipe it fresh and you just start to build a new character?
For me, it's when you're playing a role and you're playing it for a number of years, you start to become the character, and the character starts to become you, and you kind of have this like evolution of personality with the character. And I guess the character always does stay with you a little bit throughout your life, but then you take on new characters, and that becomes more different aspects of you, and there is a kind of, for me at least, I like to kind of like merge the two. Yeah.
Such a great life that you can just create people out of thin air.
Yeah,
isn't
but the
it?
crazy thing is when you're not working and you don't have a character to live with, you just become like, well, who am I? You know, it's like I haven't got this character to kind of to live with, and it's very strange because then you're like, okay, so then who do I come back to? And then you start to kind of think about, okay, well, who is Finn? What does Finn like? You know, it's interesting being an actor.
So who is Finn?
Oh,
you got yourself into that.
I don't know, who is Finn? I like to travel, I like music, I like being open-minded and friendly, quite adventurous, I like to push boundaries. Yeah, I guess those are some of the traits that I'd associate with Finn.
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Gethin, for you, like, do you feel that your role in Game of Thrones is kind of influencing other things that you're doing in your life, in your career?
It's a really good question. I think being part of that show definitely, like, on a very basic level, helped my career in the sense that I was able to be seen for more things back then, and I think that helped bring me to different projects that I might not have otherwise sort of been considered for. But as far as the roles, I mean, it's quite hard to thread a line between Renly, Charles Manson, and FBI agent Jack Brennan, who, except for the something that I realised sort of more recently about the craft, about acting, was that the appeal as a kid, really, a scared kid, was to hide in other people. And that was a driving force of why the excitement and passion for acting was that I get to experience real life emotions, but not be me.
So you couldn't get hurt by them.
Yeah, and what I realised, and that really that's not necessarily the ideal way to approach it. You have to be honest, you have to reveal something of yourself. A bit like you always think, some of you has to be in there. And I used to feel like this almost, how dare you ask for that energy about it? Like, this is my craft, I create something over here. But actually it has to be connected to you to work, really. And what I realised is those characters that I was successful in getting to play were hiding something. You know, whether it's Renly has this incredibly high stakes secret in his relationship with Loras. Our version of Charles Manson, Charlie, in that show, you know, that's based on a real person who is extremely manipulative, so you can say that. And then something like Manhunt, where he's a guy who really, it was shown not many people would know, but he was an FBI agent who was trying to find the truth by living by somebody else's rules, by kind of corporate rules. He was kind of climbing the business ladder of the FBI, if that makes any sense, but like without realizing that he was losing himself in it, kind of thing. He was like losing his own moral code. It's a quick way of saying it. So on some level, there is maybe a thread there. I don't know. But the other appeal is I love being completely different from myself. But you know.
Interesting material for your therapist.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can see that we have a question from the audience. Hello, how are you?
Hello,
Hey.
thank you. Hey, I have a question to Finn Jones. Is there any possibility we will see you again as the Iron Fist in the MCU?
I mean, there's always a possibility, but nothing that I'm aware of yet.
But sorry, because I liked very much in your own TV show, and when it got cancelled by Netflix,
I think it would be great to see that character revived. I don't know anything about it, I haven't heard anything about it, but speaking to a bunch of people today, it sounds like people would like to see that happen, and I think it would be fun. It would be cool to bring, I think there's a lot of unfinished business that I have with the character, and a lot of room for growth, and I think it's been 7 years since I played that character, so it would be kind of cool to see where that character is 7 years later, like pick him up a little bit older. I think that would be really interesting creative space to take it in, but I don't know what their plans are.
thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you. Guys, would you like to see Iron Fist again? Yes! Here's your answer.
Thank God you cheered. That would have been really awkward if there was silence.
Yeah, I have faith.
Thank God.
And I can see we have another question there.
What did you think of the ending of Game of Thrones?
Shit. I'm joking. I actually liked it.
Really?
Yeah, I thought the narratively, I thought the ending was quite clever. If it was just like written in a script, I think the way that they went about it was kind of rushed. So yeah, I didn't have any problems with where they got to. It was more how they got there. I think they should have made it 2 seasons rather than 1 season, but I get the sense that they just wanted to wrap it up quickly. But I liked it. I liked the ending. I thought it was interesting.
And you?
I have quite self-involved feelings because I'm quite a self-involved person, clearly. When I was watching it, I was just really wrapped up in the emotions of seeing that whole journey end, and something that I was there at the beginning, and seeing friends like Finn grow through his role, and other actors that I'd known as literally children grow into these great actors. So I was a little bit like that. I also thought Sansa should have been on the Iron Throne again, personally, David Down. I don't mind saying that, I'd say that to their faces. But I also think, I sort of agree with you, I think it's quite a sort of widely held thing that the way that show started was so... it was sort of a different pace and a different rhythm, so that when it ended in a faster pace, it sort of felt different than what the show had been. So I could see the kind of disconnect there for people. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But I also felt sad that it was over.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that as well. I think that's a good assessment.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, everybody has their own opinion as about the ending, for sure.
Also, there are like 6 billion different ways you could have ended it.
Yeah.
So
at least 6
billion. But I don't think it's like what you said. It's like the show was like a very slow-paced, character-driven, nuanced thing. And then towards that last season, it just became about like the epic battles and like just pushing the narrative forward without any kind of characterization. Like the whole Daenerys turning dark side, in my opinion, should have taken place over a whole season or 2 seasons. You should have seen the seed of that long before it happened, but it happened so quickly. It just kind of felt like you said, jarring. They should have got us in.
Do you guys have an idea why they rushed? Like, why didn't it stretch it at least?
I saw an interview with Kit the other day just saying that people were just so tired, and I think they just got to the point where they were just like, we need to finish this show. We can't. They were, a lot of people were away from their families. They've been working on it for 7-8 years, and I think it just got to the point where like we need to wrap this up, and so they just wanted to wrap it up, which is whatever. Who am I to judge?
Well, thank you very much. That was a good question. I can see another one. Hello.
Hello, I'm Cengiz. I would like to ask about the spin-offs. Are you following them? Do you have any opinion about the spin-off ideas? Do you find them interesting?
I can't watch it. For me, it's like watching a bunch of... I'm sure it's really good. I've heard it's amazing. But for someone that was on the show, it just feels like a lot of people cosplaying Game of Thrones.
Yes!
It's like, I see the same sets, I see like the same houses, but they're not the actors that I know. And it just feels, for me, as someone that was in the show, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
I can't connect to it.
I don't disagree. I mean, in the sense that I feel like not just the shows and the spin-offs, but the books as well. For a long time, these events to me are really special for all the reasons Finn articulated earlier. That meeting people who are so passionate about the stories that we are lucky to get to tell. I love this. This is my time to talk about Game of Thrones and to indulge in it. But as far as at home, and I haven't rewatched the series or gone back to the books for a long time, and it's partly just space because it consumed my life for a couple of years.
Yeah, and because like our experience and memories of it were so pure. To try and watch something like House of the Dragon, it's just like, well, that's... I mean, I can't get lost in the fantasy of it.
I definitely am going to watch it. I just haven't got around to it. And your point about the spin-offs, I'm starting to find, I saw something the other day about, is it Hedge Knight? Yeah. Something about a friend of mine's cast in that. And I was like, I'll watch that. And that, because I think is that going to be a film? Is that a film or a TV? Does anyone know?
I think it might be a film.
Film. I'd be interested to see a film from that world because I imagine the pacing of that will be very different.
And it's a much more singular story as well, so maybe it would feel more different so you could really get lost in the narrative.
Exactly. I hate the Targaryens. Why on earth would I watch House of Dragon?
I find the Arya one very interesting. It could be very different with like a Pirates of Caribbean exploring unknown lands or something like that.
Right, something
And
different.
Arya's very
Yeah.
different. Because all those are all knights and all doing the same thing.
The spin-off I really still want to see is Renly and Loris between season 1 and 2. They could de-age us. We could tell the story of where we went, what we got up to.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I've read the book. I have, actually. Yeah, not the book, 3 chapters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, there you
For
go.
preparation, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next question, please.
Hi guys. Just to pander back to what Finn said about enjoying to push boundaries, just wanted to ask if you have, if either of you have any interesting or funny stories that may have come off of like pushing a boundary or pushing it just a bit too far.
Let me see.
If it's too controversial, you don't have to answer.
Swiftly editing in my brain as we speak. Okay, appropriate, not appropriate. Boundaries that we pushed a little bit too far. I went. Oh no, I got away with it. So it was
Well,
fine.
I guess for us, because we had to do quite intimate scenes together, right? And I think it's not that we pushed boundaries, but it's that we didn't allow boundaries to get in the way of the story that we had to tell. So we kind of showed up, we had to play these two characters that were in love with each other, and there was never really any kind of like awkwardness, because we just understood that that was the story that we needed to tell, so we actually eradicated the boundaries between us so that we could tell the truth of the story. And so in a way, that's kind of pushing boundaries.
No, it makes total sense. That's very, that's a really good way of putting it. I mean, yeah, mine are all like, I went drinking with a friend once and we fell off a building, but we're fine. And that was like, we went a little bit too far. Like, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, sorry, that's where my head went. Yeah, yours is way better.
Yeah, let's stick with Finn's answer, okay?
Thanks a million.
Thank you so much, guys. Next question, please.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
We saw each other before. So my question is, since Finn is in Marvel now, Gethin, are you planning to be a Marvel hero too?
Am I planning to be a Marvel hero?
When are you going to do it? Come on,
Yeah,
Gethin.
and it's completely in my controls. I mean, I did for a while. I did do that one thing once of going, which one would I be? And I didn't come up with any answers.
Give me a good Peter Parker.
Oh, what?
Back in the day.
No. Thank you. No, sorry, thank you. Sorry, this is where.
Sorry,
this
you see
is
yourself more of a Batman.
Of course. Is that not what we all see me as? No, I think I looked at Gambit and went, he looks fun and interesting and different. And then I was like, I think Channing Tatum was supposed to do it. Peter Parker. Oh no, deeply, look at you. You really enjoyed that.
He's like innocent, nerdy.
Right.
Innocent and nerdy. Yeah, sure.
That's the first time you've ever called me nerdy. Look at you. Unbelievable. I was very, little insight, we were living together when Finn was cast as his Marvel character, and I remember being in the shower, listening to music when he told me. I was very excited about that. I mean, no, I don't.
Well, we were living together, weren't we? That was so funny. We were actually living in a house together in Los Angeles for like, what was it, like 6 weeks or something? When I got that role.
And it's when I started becoming a nerd.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with being
You're
a
not a nerd. I can
By the
just
way,
see
there's
you
nothing wrong with
playing
being
a nerd. You have like I'm just digging a hole deeper. Alright, you're more Batman. You're more billionaire.
That's all I need. Yeah.
Impressive.
Well, no, for me, not impressive, but it's aggressive.
Yes. Mysterious. Dark, tortured.
Okay, thank you. And I know that we have a very limited time and we do have still 2 questions, all right?
We'll
So
stop.
let's do that.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wondered, since obviously there had to be made some changes. Sorry.
since there had to be made some changes from the books, I was wondering for your own characters, were there any storylines or any characteristics from your characters that you would have liked to be kept?
I wish I'd kept what was in the books better in my performance. I wish I'd done a better job. That's pretty much straight up. Apart from that, no.
Yes, I agree. I think for me, in the books, I really liked how Loris goes off to Dragonstone, and we don't really know what happens, but there's kind of rumours that maybe he gets burned with like boiling oil, and then he comes back disfigured. I think that would have been a really cool trajectory for the character. Maybe it wasn't that, but maybe he gets disfigured by those guys, the sparrows. Is that who it was? Maybe he gets disfigured by the sparrows, but rather than dying in the set, that he survives in some way and then becomes some kind of like vengeful, like fallen knight. You know, I think that would be kind of cool and badass. So I would have liked to see that play out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have time for one last question, so make it good, no pressure.
Hello.
Hello.
So, as actors, you spoke about your passion for telling stories and character development. So, I was wondering, including your own character, which is your favorite and maybe new Game of Thrones fans should definitely look into?
Sorry, say that again.
The whole question, or?
Let me see if I can
Sorry,
summarize.
sorry.
So you're saying in other television films, what characters do we like?
No, in Game of Thrones.
Oh, in Game of Thrones.
Like your favorite character, which has maybe a great character development, and new Game of Thrones fans should look into.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was always Theon Greyjoy. I think Alfie's performance as Theon to Reek, back to Theon, was just incredible. I think it had so much nuance in there. You kind of hated the guy, and then you rooted for the guy, and you kind of understood that pain where he came from. I think it was the best characterization in the show.
I basically agree. It's Theon for me as well, but also I think what Sophie had to do with Sansa, the journey that as a young woman she had to go through those experiences and carry that to the very end, and then she became this leader. Again, kind of why I thought it would make sense for Sansa to be on the throne, but I was pretty blown away by that, just on the face of it, and I think Sophie did a great job of it. But yeah, Theon was, I mean, an extraordinary character.
Alright, thank you. Sansa's my favorite one too, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright.
Thank you so much. And guys, unfortunately, this is the whole time that we have for you today. But tomorrow, we're here in a little bit bigger crowd because we'll have Daniel, who else is joining us? Jack
Indeed.
and Dean. So this is going to be a crowd.
Boys.
Yeah.
The boys.
And I'm gonna make Jefferson come up here as well.
Why not?
Should be up here as well. Should be.
He cannot have two things, you know?
Yes, but he is in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon.
I know, right?
I mean,
But he's on.
I actually got an audition for House of the Dragon come through, and I said to my agents, I was like, do they know that I was also in Game of Thrones? And they were like, oh yeah, that's a mistake. Yeah, they just realised that that's not right.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, okay.
All right, well.
Imagine paying attention.
Well, that's maybe that's what shows when we see the House of Dragon, not paying attention to details. Ooh, ouch. All right, guys, thank you so much. I need a
Thank you,
round of
everyone.
applause.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thanks everyone. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
My dear audience, you can find Finn and Gethin on their signing booths, and tomorrow they will be here as well. You are a lovely audience, and